been a while since I had an update on the video, so I thought I'd make one real quick. Just kind of let you know where I'm at. We got the Gambler coming up this weekend. Today's Tuesday. Gambler starts on Saturday. So working on a few other things. It's been a while since I made a video because we moved in the middle and it's been kind of a mess getting everything sorted out. TAZR's been a little bit neglected, but today, here's where we're at. Right now we've got just the single roll bar and like the seat belt bar installed. We got 5-point harnesses. Those came in, just some cheap seats that I found off of Facebook Marketplace. Gonna take the Optima battery that I had from another vehicle, put that in the replacement for the factory one, come up with some kind of a battery mount for that. Up front, I don't think much has changed since my last video. I think we're gonna paint the radiator and then this cooler, which I think is for like the power steering or something. We're gonna paint that black. Just not a huge fan of the big silver rectangle. I think it makes it look odd in the front. I think black will just make it blend in a little bit better, make it not so standout-ish. Initially, we thought that we were going to have time to do a full exo cage before Gambler, but now we're like seriously pressed for time with moving, and I just barely got back a few days ago to try to get this ready. So what we're working on today, we've got the Ford 8.8 taken apart, getting ready to pull out the old gear set, the old carrier, get rid of these spider gears. We got the Yukon 513 gears going in, and then also got a limited slip from them as well. So we'll get those installed. That's the plan. We kind of looked at the priorities of what we still need to do before Gambler. Technically, we could have taken it as is, open diff and factory 355 gears, but it wouldn't have been as fun, and it's easier to get stuck when you're on some of those, Forest Service roads and whatnot, when the car being so light in the back, and then with only one tire spinning, it wasn't going to be as fun. And then with the big heavy wheels and tires and the factory gears, it just wasn't as peppy off the line. Just be a lot more fun if we had gears and positive traction. So that's the plan. We thought if we can at least get that far, we'll feel pretty good about it. And then if we have any extra time at all, I'm going to try to take and finish up a little bit of this cage, maybe at least the bars that come to the back, or maybe the halo that goes over the top, because we're going to be baking in the sun if we don't get some kind of covering. So going to work on that today, see how far we get, and then we'll update you hopefully when this is all done. Well, back working on the TAZR, little update on the Gambler. Basically, we got the rear end tore apart, and come to find out that Amazon lied to me and said that we had the 31 spline axles in the Crown Vic, when turns out we had the 28 spline. So got the whole rear end tore apart, put the limited slip in, and then went to slide the axles back in, and there was just all kinds of play, sloppiness. It was wrong. We only had like 2 days to finish up for the Gambler. So throw in the Google, try to figure out what we can do, what can we do, and turns out the only option for this year, 2001, one of the forums said, you got to switch to the limo axle. The limo axle is the way to go. It's got the right length, and it's got the right amount of splines, right diameter. So we overnighted the limo axles, found a place up in northern Idaho that could get them to us in time, get it all ready to go, and slide them in, and then find out that the bearing diameter of the limousine axle is larger than the Crown Victoria axle. So anyone who's looking to upgrade to the 31 spline in the back of the Crown Victoria, well, limo axles will work, but I did have to take them to a machine shop, and they had to take off some material out near the bearing in order for it to fit. So needless to say that wasn't going to work for Gambler. We didn't get it done, and we missed out on Gambler. Instead, we spent a little bit of time working on the cage, decided that, since we weren't going to make it, maybe we at least make some progress on the rest of the stuff, figure out the axles later, go that route. So that was last summer, and then during the move, haven't spent a ton of time, but we have in the last couple weeks made some progress. So I wanted to kind of update exactly what's been done. We got the rear end in, so it's got the 513 gears, limited slip from Yukon. It's got the limousine 31 spline axles that got machined down to fit inside the bearings. We finished while we were there, while I was in Idaho, we finished up these back braces, got those on. We're really happy with how that came out. And then in the past couple weeks, we worked on this like halo bar, whatever you'd call it here. And then last week we got these kick down or A-pillar bars and got these 2-inch receiver frame mounts set on there to have something to support it. Got a new windshield installed and then immediately got all my welding spatter all over that. So that was a rookie mistake, lesson learned. We got the battery installed, but now we've kind of moved on. My next thought was I'd like to be able to take more than one person with me. So we've got the battery installed here in the back. It's secured okay. I mean, it won't go anywhere. But now that we've got this seat, I just picked this up off Facebook Marketplace, pretty cheap. So now that we got the seat for the back, you can see that it's going to cause issues. The person sitting here in the back passenger side is going to have their feet right on the battery. So it isn't optimal. I could put it somewhere else, but I'm just not sure exactly where I want to put that. So what I'm working on today, I got to get some type of a mount for this back seat. The floor is not too bad as far as fitment here. So you can see it's got the hump in the middle, but these PRP seats were made to go in the back of a RZR, and they kind of have a little spot there for the console or for the hump of a UTV. So that'll actually fit okay. You can kind of see where the two support bars come in here and then about right here. So I got to come up with some type of a mount, maybe angle iron, some way for that to just hold level and hold secure. And then bought another set of those Aces Racing harnesses. So I've got those here and just got a 2-pack off Amazon of the harnesses. So we'll get those hooked up, figure out exactly how high we need it here on this back bar, and then do another like harness bar, just like we did in the front. Other stuff, not really sure. As far as the front, my last air intake was like the cheapest, sort by, lowest price, buy on Amazon. And the inside of the filter completely just disintegrated. So just put a new air filter on there. It's a little bit excessive, but it'll work. Beyond that, I worked on cleaning up, cutting back some of the frame and pounding back some of the body to just make some clearance. It does still rub on the inside here when you turn all the way. Same thing on the other side of the car. It does have some rubbing issues, but overall it drives okay on the street. When you get it off-road, it's really, really bumpy. Just the suspension with having no weight on it at all, and it's not really made for off-road, so it's not super great off-road. So that's something we're thinking about too, is what are we going to do? I'd like to take it on the next Gambler since we missed the last one. But I need something different because a lot of those roads on the Gambler are dirt roads, and we've taken this out a couple times. You can see from back here. We've taken it out a few times, and it's really, really fun, but it just beats you to death. So I'm going to have to think of a fix for that and get the suspension run a little bit better. So one thought that we had, I thought it would be pretty cool to do like an airbag setup. If you guys watch Dirt Every Day and you watch Dave Chappelle on there, he loves to put airbags on everything. And I thought it would be kind of cool to take the Crown Vic and do some airbags because it would get you a really cool stance for when you're parking, but then also you could lift it up when you go through some of the bigger obstacles, or when you're going off-road, you want a little bit more ground clearance, you could throw a little bit of air in there. Trying to keep everything really cheap. I'm still calling it a Gambler, but at this point, between the limited slip, the gears, the axles, and the machining of the axles, I spent more money on the rear end than I have in the entire car. So let's put it that way. Not really planning to do it that way, but that's just how it worked out. Once I got in so deep, I had to just kind of keep going to get it working again. So we'll get working on, I'm going to work on the seat mounts here shortly, and then hopefully get that back seat in, get the back seat bar on, and then I need something here in the front. It just doesn't, it looks much nicer having the exo cage on the front, but it still doesn't quite look like a car without something happening up here in the front end. So I'll have to come up with some type of a tube design, some type of a that makes it look more of the car shape. But we'll get working on that, and then I'll update you with some of the progress.